Hi there and welcome. This short video introduces you to the Cloud Computing Module, Introduction to Python for Bioinformatics, which is part of the NIGMS Sandbox collection. It was written by me, Dr. Jennifer Chase, and Dr. Kevin McCarty at Northwest Nazarene University. In this video, I'll briefly cover the goals of this course, how you should navigate the module, and what to expect as you begin each section. First, where can you find the course? All materials are hosted on github.com in the NIGMS Sandbox repository collection. Just search for it on github.com and you'll find it and a variety of other tutorials. What's seen on screen is what you would notice when you open up the NIGMS Sandbox. And a quick tip, GitHub repositories show their file structure first, as you can see here with GitHub and docs and images. But if you'll scroll down, you'll be able to see the descriptive content and tutorial links. Our course, the Intro to Python for Bioinformatics, is organized into two major parts. They are going to be in submodule 0 and then in 1, 2, and 3. So if you're new to GitHub or cloud computing, you should start at submodule 0. I'm showing what it would look like as you navigate to it on the screen. So you'll see a list of different tutorials. Each submodule. Tutorial 1, for example, is going to be the first one where you would be able to scroll through these and read them. They will function just like web pages, and you don't need to know anything other than how to click on this and you can read. It will give you background on how to do the whole thing. You'll see screenshots, there will be video clips, and as I'm just scrolling here through the very first tutorial that you would have. So after you get, so this submodule 0 is beginner friendly, it's web-based, and these tutorials are organized in a set that would show you first how to copy or clone GitHub repositories to be ready for doing cloud computing. They will show you how to use Jupyter Notebooks, which is going to be the interactive coding environment we use in submodules 1 to 3 to teach you Python. It will show you how to set up cloud computing using Microsoft Azure and including how to apply for NIH-funded Cloud Lab access in a second tutorial, but there are links to other places where you can learn to do Google or AWS or even Anaconda on your local computer to do the cloud computing. The second part of submodule 0 is showing you how to use GitHub for your own purposes. You'll talk about fair data principles and how you could do that with GitHub for you, how to manage those lab repositories from your research data, and then how to create digital object identities, which would be permanent direct links that are required for fair data handling. So again, each lesson is linked directly from that GitHub page, and it's going to link from one to the next one within each tutorial. So once you've cloned the repositories, set up your cloud instance, you'd be ready for part 2. So part 2 is in submodules 1 to 3, and that's for learning Python. We'll give you throughout the lessons in these Jupyter Notebooks, you'll get directions written in text, there'll be coding examples, you'll have coding exercises, mini quizzes, and they'll all use real-world data sets that were taken from research work or from the NIH, and then culminating in some bioinformatics projects. So these will all be done in Jupyter Notebooks. So in this second part, throughout, we're going to use test your knowledge quizzes, which will look like this kind of thing. This is an actual one from there, so I'm showing on screen the quiz. They might be multiple choice or enter numeric values after you've done a bit of coding yourself, but all the answers are provided, so it's not required that you do the quizzes, but it's helpful for you to get some practice. So submodule 1 is going to cover your core Python skills. It's got variables, data types, basic functions. So I'm now running the screen to show what it would look like if you went to these individual tutorials within submodule 1 and And for example, if we look at something like the project, what will come up will be a series of text, and always with the same format that gives you some information and solutions, and we'll end up finding some coding boxes that you can do as well. For example, you can see here an empty coding box where you would write in your own code, and by running each of those, you can do Python directly in the page. So the submodule 1's project will show you how to fetch and compare FASTA sequences using Python, and here's part of the code that you would end up running and the result it would get as you collected from the NIH. We just imagined that these were the kind of things that you would be able to want to be able to do, to go out and collect data from these repositories. In submodule 2, we're going to cover NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn, and Matplotlib, which are tools for doing data handling. They're a lot like working with Excel in the background. So they're really wonderful. So this is sort of like the quick materials at NumPy, but you can see it looks a lot like the other modules. So you'll get very comfortable using each of these techniques. There's also the project in that case is going to be looking at protein data bank files, where you will one of the projects is that you'll be able to use these tools to identify the sites. This is AMP binding sites from a protein data bank file. But all the information is provided there in the answers to these quizzes, and to the projects. Okay. And submodule 3 is going to delve into object-oriented programming, where which is a core feature of Python, is that you would set up a series of new classes. So this particular one, you'll build these custom classes. This is an example of a DNA analyzer one. We use an example, but those custom classes in the project will be used to model liver sample tissues, where you'll validate data, convert units, analyze data quality. And so this final section, submodule 3, is going to show you how to write clean, reusable code that will support your meaningful scientific work. So our goal in this whole course is to empower you, not just to use Python, but to confidently explore the other bioinformatics tools that are in the NIGMS sandbox to do data science workflows using cloud-based computing. So whether you're new to programming or just new to using Python in the cloud, we're glad that you're here. So we hope you enjoy working through this tutorial, and happy coding.